Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Phoenix, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. And welcome to the Shooting Star Daily for today, March 3rd of 2020. Appreciate you all joining me. I know I'm not in my usual studio. I'm about to go there where, like I said, we're pet sitting for the week, and it's a little bit later in the morning, but I wanted to make sure I got this out. Anyways, what do we have going on today? Well, the sun, of course, continuing its transit through Pisces. Now today, it's going to be at 13 degrees of Pisces. You take that 1 plus the 3, which equals a 4. And the 4 is related to the Uranus-like energy. It's related to Aquarius-like energy, where this is all about breakdown, breakthrough, and it's all about these sort of humanitarian efforts. I think it's interesting how the sun hits this spot on the day of Super Tuesday, where now the collective is definitely going to be very much so wrapped up in the politics. Then, of course, you have all of these other things that the collective is kind of wrapped up in. There's sort of like this... There's this hysteria that's kind of being brewed within people, and with this being in Pisces, we can really get caught up on our own fantasies and delusions on how we think things are supposed to look like. We can project what we think is best on the collective, and then we can be like, oh, how could you not believe this, or how could you not be afraid of this? There's a lot of that sort of energy going on today, especially considering this. The moon is in Gemini. It's going to be finishing its transit up in Gemini today, and it's in that last decade. And of course, the last decade of Gemini energy is ruled by Uranus. You could say it's kind of ruled by Saturn, but it's ruled by Uranus. So we have this Uranian energy to today, where we're going to be definitely very concerned about the collective, people at large, the humanitarian efforts. You're going to see these pockets of revolution and sort of like these rebel ideas kind of come up through today. And there could be a potential, I would say, to like be very cautious about what you post on social media on this day, because it's going to get very, very testy and very, very interesting. Like I said, just because, we still have the sun in Pisces, we still have it barreling towards Neptune. It'll be at Neptune just a couple of days, and we're barreling towards this full moon in Virgo, which is going to be very, very intense. And of course, we do have Mercury, which is still in retrograde. So, and I want to say that Mercury is going to be coming into Aquarius today in this retrograde. So, retrograding back into Aquarius. So, even when it comes to communication, we're still not all the way there. We're still not really communicating quite as clear as we can be, but you're going to see individuals kind of put their opinions as facts out there into the world. It's going to be sort of like this is my truth. But sometimes, like, when we say, I don't even like that term, my truth. The reason why I don't like it is probably because, I'm going to be honest, I have watched like The Bachelor this year, and I know that probably seems weird for someone like me to watch The Bachelor, but honestly, my Venus in Libra and my Pisces moon eats that shit up. But a lot of the chicks on there kept saying things like my truth, and I'm not bashing any of those girls because they live within a reality that 99.9% of us will never live in. But it's funny how people will say my truth as a way to express their opinion. But opinions aren't always true. They really aren't. But you're going to kind of see that today, where people are going to be expressing their truth as facts for everyone. And it's like, that's not necessarily the case. So just be wary of that on this day. People, like I said, this is Pisces season. People are still very much so caught up in their dreams, their fantasies, and their illusions. And not all dreams, fantasies, and illusions are inherently negative. A lot of them can be very positive. But Pisces season, it is a time of rest. It is, the last season before we reach the astrological new year. So it's a time of a reset. It's kind of like a factory reset. And this is going to be a really big one too. I'll probably will talk about that more as we get closer to the astrological new year. So just be wary of those kind of things. Let's see what card we have for today. The card that we have for today is the Queen of Pentacles. And what I love about this card is that she knows her worth despite what's going on around her. The Queen of Pentacles, she is an individual who, she is receptive, she's compassionate to the needs of others around her, but more importantly, she knows her truth and she knows her value. They're not going to say your truth, but she doesn't try and project that truth I guess, as a fact on everyone else around her. Because not only does she know what's valuable to her, she understands that other people have things that are valuable to them. So she's not necessarily going to try and project what she feels as valuable to her onto other people and expect them to feel the same way that she does. She's a little bit more compassionate about that sort of stuff. So, this comes down to realizing that we all have our own journey, we all have our own path, and spirituality is not something, it really isn't something that's supposed to be this sort of, we make it a widespread thing and then we apply these particular principles to an entire collective. Spirituality is an individual journey, and the Queen of Pentacles knows that. So remember the individual journey today. Remember that you are your own self. And yes, we are all connected in some aspects, but we also have our own journey. I think that's another kind of misconception. The whole we're all one thing. And in a sense we are, but at the same time, you can clearly see that some people are tethered and connected to other energies that you aren't connected to. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any type of disconnect. And, yes, we want to create a world that is more prosperous and abundance and opulent for all. And we will get there in time. But in truth, it's kind of the Wild West out here in the spiritual realms. It's the Wild West out there in the astral planes. And I think that's something that a lot of people are very naive to. So the Queen of Pentacles is reminding you to stay solid in who you are and your value and your worth, to know your worth, to know your value. And no matter what kind of chaos is going on the outside, you can remain secure in yourself and true to yourself. Not necessarily saying, well, this is my truth, but just staying true to who you are and just being authentically you and not really worrying about what's going on in the outside world. Because if you can stay secure within you, any type of instability in the world is not going to knock you over. That is it for your reading today. I hope that you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all on tomorrow's daily Shooting Star video. Peace.